Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the C&D podcast, episode 17. We are 17, aren't we, Greg?
We are 17, and I
We
have no
are.
idea what it's about. But
Yes, yeah, but the viewers know what it's about. So today we're going to talk about the Californian Fires.
okay, that's
Yeah,
news to me. The ones that have been maintained now. Okay, yep,
so they're under control now. So
good.
yeah, I wanted to talk about them because I didn't want to talk about them while they were still going on. But the both major ones both ended on the 31st. So yeah, I wanted to have a little talk
I
about
think
it.
they had some rain or something, didn't they?
No, basically they just, or maybe they did. I don't know. They just they just contained it, and yeah, it's gone out. All right, so let me
Okay.
take you back. We're going to rewind you a little bit to January 7th. I know it's not quite a wind back as in your episodes, but okay.
It's fine. It's yeah. There's more
Alright.
devastation.
So January 7th. So I'm going to focus on the two main fires: the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire.
And the Eaton, yeah.
Yeah. There were other fires. I think there was like a total of like 10 maybe. But they were all like little fires, or they were contained quickly, or they were just like in the middle of a forest and no one cared. So, like,
Oh, I think people cared. It's just
Yeah,
it was in the middle
yeah.
of the forest. They couldn't
Yeah,
really do
yeah.
anything about it.
no, I mean they were busy trying to save people's buildings and lives and stuff with the other two fires. So we'll start with the Palisades fire. That started first. Well, out of the two of them, that started first. So at 10:30 on January 7th, it started. It was first reported to just be 20 acres, which is quite a lot of area, I guess.
Mhm.
So at that time, the winds were at like 60 to 80 miles an hour, and this carried on through like pretty much most of the first week. It was just mad winds. There's also been like a 9-month drought in that area, so a lot of it is just like igniting quite quickly. So with that and with the winds, within 20 minutes, it increased to 200 acres. So it's 10 times the size
wow.
now in 20 minutes. Uh,
Jesus.
yeah, so you can imagine shit's getting pretty wild. Yeah, so by that point, I think they'd started getting the alerts on their phone, like, "Oh, you should probably evacuate," that kind of thing. By 3 o'clock, so this is about 4 hours later, it had reached 1,200 acres of fire. Like, it was spreading pretty quickly. And then sort of the other side of LA. So this is like, so we're currently on the south. I think we're in the south. Yeah, we're in the south. By the sort of the coastal properties, Palisades. In the north, another fire has just started, the Eaton fire, and this is about 6 o'clock. And this one is like, this is around the Pasadena. Is Pasadena? I want to say Pasadena area. Yeah, Pasadena. Yeah, sorry. I want to check that real quick. Sorry, I do think it's Pasadena area.
I think you're right. I don't know Lally that well, but I think you're right.
Pasadena. I think it's Pasadena. Oh, no, it's Altadena. Sorry, Altadena. I always get those two confused. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's the Altadena area. Basically, because the houses they're more like middle class, whereas Palisades are like for the rich people. So there was like more buildings, but there's like technically less people there. But with the Altadena fire, there's like the houses are like middle class, so they're all like quite they're all like stacked together like like a normal street. How like me and you would see it, I guess.
Yeah.
So the fire spread there quite quickly as well. So literally, like by the next day, the Eaton. This is January 8th now. The Eaton fire had reached 10,000 acres, and the Palisades had reached 11,000.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, within a day. Like
It was so dry, wasn't it? Like,
yeah. And and the winds as well. I think it was mostly the winds. They saying a lot of it was like I can't remember. I saw this clip and it was from like a Joe Rogan podcast from like last year, and he was saying about some firemen told him like basically they just got lucky before, like the wind was in the right direction, or like something like that. But this time, like the wind was in like the wrong direction. It was very fast, so they couldn't get any aircraft up.
Yeah.
Usually, a lot of like the firefighting they do now is like from the air. And yeah, and Altadena is like bordering this like sort of foresty area. And the same with the Palisades, because the Palisades have got like all the palm trees and stuff and like all that. So that was all just igniting and you see like people's like the Palisades gardens, and like people they've got like trees in their gardens, and like it's no like there's no like I don't know, when I think of a garden I think of it to be like a bit of open land, but not there. It's it's like trees and like shade, and there's so much going on. So they were both going on. A lot of the initial complaints from the firemen were basically like, we can't really do anything. Like the fire's too fast.
Well, they had no water or something, didn't they?
Yeah, so that's something I was going to touch on. They were complaining about lack of water. I think one of the reservoirs was slightly low or something, or one of them was like out, and the other one was low because they've been having the drought. But I don't know. A lot of them were saying, "Oh, we haven't got water from the hydrants," but a lot of it was just the hydrant like water pressure. Basically, there was water there, but there was just too many people tapped into the system at the same time that there was just no pressure. So they were like, they were like trying to use the hoses, and like it was just kind of like dribbling out.
Have they not learned the trick about putting your thumb over the front of it? That not work. See, if everyone done that, it would have been fine. It would have been sorted in a day.
And that's the thing. A lot of people were like, I watched this. I watched this one bloke who like stayed behind to like save his home, and like I can see the advantage of that, but like at the same time, if your entire street is burned down and you're the only survivor, like where does that leave you? Kind of like like
Well,
if the whole street's
value,
gonna get,
isn't it?
Yeah, I guess unless you're like, I can see it from what do you call
sentimental type of way as well.
Yeah, I can see it from that point of view. But I can also see it from an insurance point of view as well. A lot of these places like recently had their insurance cancelled. Almost like it was planned. Like people are saying like it was conspiracies, like it was planned or something. I don't know that it was planned, but it is really suspicious that like there's going to be a fire. Your insurance knows there's going to be a fire, so you make an agreement that you have fire insurance. You know what I mean? Like, so for them to just pull out like months before is a bit like, that's like, I don't know, that's their business like model.
Yeah, the thing that I read about as well is there was a speculation that there's like a plan for LA, and coincidentally, where the plans are for the redevelopment so happened. This is probably a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
but it just so happened that the exact area where the fire was the exact area where they would have needed to have bought out all the homes and did the renovation work. So there's speculation that now they can just buy it cheap.
So I think, so that was another point to my like saving your house. Like if your whole street has just been demolished, basically, like they're either gonna have to build around you or demolish your house too, eventually. Like,
Yeah.
Because I don't know. There's also this thing where like, especially with Altadena, because it's like so close to the border. Like, if this happens, like basically they need to stop building so close to that border. So basically they're gonna have to just like not build. There's just gonna have to be this like fireproof gap almost between like I don't know how you'd do that, like, but just cut all the trees down in that area, like or something like there needs to be like a barrier between the forest life and the human life. I don't know. I don't know what kind of solution they can come up with, but the buildings are already burned down, so you could just start there by not building them again. Would be a solution.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is this like conspiracy about a new city, or like they call them 15-minute cities or something. So basically, you
Something
can.
like that, yeah.
I think it's something like that, isn't it? Basically, you can get anywhere within 15 minutes, and if you can't, then something's going to be built that you can get there, or something. Basically, you shouldn't have to leave that 15 minutes. Is the idea. So like every little city will have its own like hospital, PlayStation, fire service, and you won't have a reason to like shopping center. There shouldn't be a reason for you to leave, basically. So that's like, I mean, yeah, in one of those things, it's like when they do rebuild it, they will rebuild it with that in mind. So I guess your conspiracy is not wrong. Like, I mean, it's something that might happen. Like I said before, with all the buildings, like the few people who stayed behind to like, save their building. And I was talking to my friend about it, and he was like, "Would you stay behind and save your house?" And I was like, "Well, if it was just me at home, and like I didn't have I wasn't with Phoebe, like I probably would. I would be like, yeah, well, once my house is gone, like what else have I got left? Like, I may as well chance it. And a lot of the people who did it did actually save their houses. So I've got a few stats here about the deaths of people. Obviously, they're still finding people and stuff, so it's a bit like, it has been a few weeks since the fires ended. So the Eaton fire caused 17 deaths, and the Palisades caused 12. So it's quite a low death toll, to be fair. I don't know if it would just like because everyone
the area it was in, but
yeah. So the Eaton fire. So this is the Altadena one. 9,000 buildings were destroyed. So out of 9,000 for 17 deaths, it's not that bad, really. Like the evacuation worked.
Yeah, I mean they did what they needed to do to get them safe. They failed to prepare in every other way. So.
Yeah. And with the Palisades one, 6,800 buildings were destroyed. But like I said, the buildings over there were a lot larger. Yeah, so I was watching a lot of this coverage live on the BBC, and then after like the first week, they just like gave up and stopped following it. So I was like, oh, brilliant. Because I was actually quite interested. Like, they were going over like things like containment and like percentages and stuff, and like a lot of it, like especially with the Palisades, because the fire actually bordered the ocean basically. So they were like, "Oh, it's like 30% contained." I was like, "Yeah, because the fire's not going to cross the ocean, is it? Like, yeah, it's contained because it's not going to spread anymore." And their definition of contained is literally just like the fire's not growing anymore. It's not the fire's out. It's just that it's still there. It's just like it's just not spreading.
It's contained within its little area. It's still simmering. It's just not expanding.
So it could go back and like continue burning backwards, like if there's anything left. But yeah, it's not. So I don't know. I don't really like the term containment. It's a bit like misleading. I think it almost sounds like it's like they've like I said, like with the Palisades one, like yeah, it's contained because it's not going to cross the ocean. Like it's not.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that kind of annoyed me a little because I was watching it and I was like, there's all these beachfront properties and stuff just like burnt out. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's literally an ocean next to you. Like, could you not have just got like a little hose and like a pump or something and just got some ocean water and sprayed over it? Like what's the excuse? Like, so after about a week, the fires, like the winds died down. And they finally got all the planes out and stuff. So planes came from like Canada, and I don't know if they came from Mexico as well. They definitely came from Canada and like the other American states as well. Everyone, like all the fire departments unified, and like everyone came out, and it was all like a big job. I saw this one video of it's like a Canadian um, plane, and he was like refilling his water, and he like dives into the ocean, scoops up like a bucket, like a massive like bucket of water, basically, and then like flies away again.
Yeah, I saw those. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so cool. And I imagine the amount of skill that must take as well, like because you got like as you're hitting the
you got to
water as
adjust.
well.
Yeah, you've got to also adjust for the weight that's about to. Like,
Yeah,
it's like slapping yourself in the
impact.
face in like a wall, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, like if you like, I don't know how to describe like because you're flying at you have to fly at quite a high speed to keep the speed up, and then you're like,
yeah.
boom, here's a fucking bucket of water like filling up like underneath you. Like you got to pull up and like counter that.
Because there is like a minimum speed they have to do to stay airborne as well. So it's not like
Yeah.
they can just slow down to like 1 mile an hour. Like
No. So that's
it's
so
some whack
impressive.
they're going.
Yeah. So they were quite fine with using seawater then. That was my first initial thought. I was a bit like, oh, maybe seawater isn't good for fire. I don't know why, but I was like, they're not using it clearly. So, but then later on, they were using it. So I don't know what the excuse was. I don't know why they didn't like. Yeah. The evacuation was
Staffing
mad as well.
restrictions.
I don't know. Maybe it's bad for the pump or something, or yeah. But yeah, I was yeah. So yeah, the evacuation was mad as well. I saw some videos of the evacuation, and like basically it just got like traffic jammed, and people just had to leave their cars because they were like, there's a fire literally right next to them. Like they were like, fuck, we need to leave.
Yeah.
And then literally a bulldozer came along and had to like knock all the cars out of the way to get the fire trucks through. I was like, I'd be so sad if that was my car. I'd be like, no. Like, I couldn't get it out of the fire, and now it's like been bulldozed. Oh dear. Yeah. There we go. And then with the evacuation, then came some looting as well.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So I don't know.
it's not bad that everyone's lost everything in there, but
Yeah.
people want to take advantage of it. I heard as well there was people buying like water and stuff and then selling it for like twice the value.
Wow. Yeah.
To the point where the president had to even come and say, "Listen, stop." Like,
So there's a curfew. I think it was. I don't know if it was from sunrise to sunset or something, but it was or like 8 o'clock or something like that. But there was a curfew. Basically, anyone out that time like was arrested, basically, because you shouldn't be out. And like, there was this one looter who actually he pretended to be a fireman. He actually got the uniform and everything.
No.
Yeah. And like basically, this fireman was like just chatting to him, and then like trying to get him to do some work, and then he realised he wasn't actually a fireman. Like he was slewing, so bad. Yeah, it's really disgusting. It's like, yeah. So that's another reason why people didn't want to leave their homes as well, because they're like, we're going to lose our homes to the fire, and then and then if they don't lose them to the fire, people are just going to like start looting them. Yeah, it's just sad. Like. Yeah. So, but yeah, there was a total of I'm sure there was like 10 fires. One of them actually was near the Hollywood sign, I think. But because the winds were calmer there, they managed to get planes like helicopters out, and actually they sorted that in like a few hours or something. But yeah, it's just it's mad, isn't it? Did you watch much of it at all? Or...
Not a great deal. I kept up with it every day to see if they've actually managed to sort it out yet, but it lasted that long. I forgot about it because it wasn't. It just wasn't. It was something that we sadly we just kind of accepted it. Like,
yeah, I think the British press stopped following it after the first week, which is quite sad. But to be fair, after the first week, the spread had kind of stopped anyway. It was just containing it like at that point. I think they'd contained it where the buildings were, but they hadn't contained it like in the forest kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like there was still a fire going on, but like I said, there was no risk to life anymore. So it was just a case of like controlling the fire. yeah, like both of them lasted 3 weeks, which is mad. Like, you know, day and night. Like, oh, I couldn't imagine that. Like, there's one bloke I follow on Instagram called he's a rapper called The Game. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he lives in
Don't haven't heard of The Game.
Well, you know, some people haven't heard of him. So he lives in Los Angeles, and he's like big, like Compton man. And he was actually there, like with the firefighters every single day, like.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, and like, yeah, giving them water, giving them support, making them coffees and stuff, like, just like giving like loads of free stuff to them, like just trying to like boost morale and like all that kind of stuff, which I thought was lovely. And then like, and then he was doing like other things. He was like going finding like people's pets and stuff, and like, just doing all these like you know, like really nice things. And like, and I can't remember. Someone said, "Oh, it's like when it first started." Someone was like, "Oh, he's just like clout chasing. He's just doing it for the press." But then, like after a few days, it was kind of clear that he was the only one doing it. Like, I think if other people were like clout chasing, they would have gone and joined him. But he was like the only one doing it, and also he was the only one like really there. Like, no, I don't think I saw a single celebrity like do what he did.
Yeah.
So yeah. Good on him.
No, I completely understand that, and it's great. I'm glad that he was able to help.
Yeah. So
you don't see enough of the people that have success in lives even bother. Like they just say, "Oh, someone else will do it," and that's the problem in modern culture is everyone says that someone else will do it, and then nothing gets help, nothing gets done because everyone's saying someone else will do it.
So I wanted to touch on.
So good on him.
Another theory.
Okay.
Because I know you like your theories.
I do.
So this is one that Phoebe showed me.
Okay, why are you laughing? Aliens?
Almost. So the fires were caused from lasers up in the space, shooting down. So basically, these lasers, they can. Sorry. So basically, these lasers, they can't shoot, they can't ignite green objects. So that's why the trees didn't catch fire. That's why the trees were still standing. And
I'm sorry, what?
And it's all just it's all a government plan to like destroy the city and make a new city.
Okay, Phoebe, I'm going to talk to you here for a second in the podcast. Okay. Are you alright?
She didn't believe it. She was laughing. It wasn't like she didn't make it up or anything.
Oh, you made it sound like she was fully on board with this theory.
Oh no. She knew it was a joke. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a joke to some people clearly, but
questioning her sanity for a second.
Yeah, no. She didn't.
Fucking lasers, mate. We barely fucking. Our laser technology is about the size of a keyring laser. Like what?
Yeah.
Can't ignite green objects. Why? What? Why? Why?
That was only because the trees. Like, if you look at a lot of the burn footage, a lot of the trees are still standing. But
yes, because all the moisture's at the bottom, so
exactly.
Heat from rising.
Yeah, the trees hold a lot of moisture, especially those trees, because they're like they've been like they just adapted to it over the years. They're used to this drought like that they're having.
Exactly. Fucking green trees.
And then, and then someone else said, "Why are all the chimneys still standing?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, but a fireplace is designed to have a fire."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, why don't we make houses out of what we make out of fireplaces?" Like, oh, that's a good idea, but then like, you know, your house is just sort of made of stone. Like, I don't you know what I mean?
Fucking bizarre, man. Some of these theories, like,
I mean, a lot of it.
Some people said it was man-made as well.
Yeah. I saw some post it was like, oh, it's amazing how big a fire like 2 children can spread or something. Like what?
No, I'll tell you the truth. What happened? The truth is simple, and I believe this wholeheartedly. government decided that it was more of a cost-effective measure to leave the forest as its own. They ignored multiple warnings from multiple experts in the field. Even the fucking firefighters themselves are the ones that they're designated to fucking protect them. They didn't spend enough money on making sure the forests were clear of all the debris. You look in the forest now, you've got tons and tons of dead trees on the floor. Another fire can start tomorrow. They're fucked again.
Yeah.
They didn't open up the fucking water supply to actually be able to do that. The dam has never been that low because they haven't bothered to reroute the water properly because, again, cost-saving measures. They decreased the funding in the fire department. They gave half of their fucking stock overseas to help with the Ukrainian war. Again, no issue with that at all. But why didn't they replace it? It comes down to mismanagement of assets, mismanagement of personnel, cuts, and it just comes down to money, mate.
Yeah.
This is something that should have never fucking happened to begin with, because it was the people who are in power that just think about the dollar that in their pocket rather than the people of the great city of Los Santos.
Los Santos.
I may have been playing GTA a bit.
Mate, I was fully behind. I was fully behind you there, and then you said Los Santos.
That's what I meant.
Fuck's sake. I saw one news channel because someone had like overlaid the fire onto the Los Santos map, and one of the news channels had put the Los Santos map instead of the LA map.
I saw that, and the fire went to the thing. I was like, oh look, that's Great Ocean Highway.
Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant.
But yeah, it annoys me because I don't agree with Donald Trump on much because I do not like the guy, but I have to give him his props when he said that they need to reroute the water from it going into the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's mad. But yeah, I think that's it. I think I've covered everything. You got anything to add? Or?
I feel sorry for everyone that's lost everything. It was something that was totally preventable.
Yeah. I think they'll definitely look into, especially like fireproofing buildings a bit more as well.
They won't though. They'll make a big song and dance of upgrading this fire prevention system, and in 3 years' time, no, I'm going to say it right now, in a year and a half's time, we'll be in the exact situation, doing the exact same podcast, going, Trump warned them. They're not going to learn. Many times, so many few have learned the lessons lost by so many.
Yeah.
That was actually really deep from me, and I just thought of that on the spot.
Well done, mate. Well done, my guy.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we'll end it there. If there's anything you'd like to add in the comments, give us a like, I guess. Hopefully, I don't know. Yeah. If you've been affected by tonight's issues. But no, in all seriousness, there's if you want to help out, there's always charities to give to, who are giving out like shelters and food and water and stuff.
We'll post a link to them on if you go onto the TikTok area. We'll post a link to them on a few of them to help if you do want to.
Yeah,
but no obligation, obviously.
No, of course not. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.